But trust me when I say these are very, very similar. I mean, I honestly feel like Nike are almost taking the with this. Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aiden, and in today's review, of course, we have another Air Max 1 to be taking a look at. Now, I'm not actually sure if this one could actually potentially constitute a reach back. The shoe did release a couple of weeks ago, but when it did first officially release, I decided to pass on it. But then I saw them sitting on JD and I thought, you know what, it'd be rude to not at least get them to review for you guys on the channel. And because I haven't seen too many reviews of them, I figured why not, let's get them, let's see what they're all about. So as you can see from the title, in today's review, we will be taking a look at the recently released women's exclusive Air Max 1 in the Pale Ivory colorway. Again, not a shoe I've seen too many people talking about, but again, a shoe that I do actually feel like a lot of you guys may be interested in. So with all that said, I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time on this intro, so just sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So just like we always do before we get into the shoes, let's just kick this off with the packaging. And because we see this box in every single review, I will just glance over it. We do just get your pretty typical red Nike sportswear box. So there you go. Now if we do take a quick look at the label which reads, we do have the women's Nike Air Max 1 in the Pale Ivory Sandrift white colourway. And it is a personal pair, as it is a UK size 9, and that does actually work out to be an 11.5 women's sizing over in the US. I do get so many questions about it as far as the sizing is concerned. I will get onto that later on in the video. If you just want to skip to that point in the video, I will leave like a link or like a place where you can jump to in the video. Because it is one of my more regular comments, if you want to see just that and that alone, do skip to that point in the video. And then outside of that, if we do open up the box itself, on the inside, very standard tissue paper. And then underneath that, we have what we came for, so let's go ahead and get straight into the shoes. So without any further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, in hand we have the Nike Air Max 1 women's exclusive in the Pale Ivory colourway. Now this shoe is actually releasing on the back of quite a few other women's exclusive Nike Air Max 1 colourways. So of course we recently did review the Air Max 1 Fuchsias, which are just behind me. This was then a quick follow-up, and as I'm recording this now, there is actually another women's exclusive release that just went up on the Nike website, and I do believe that is the Vault colorway. Now the legend himself, Sneaker Jossie, has already dropped a review for those, so if you want to check those out early, I will make sure to leave a link to his video in my description box down below. And then outside of those three, we did actually see a recent release, which was actually very, very similar to this one in particular, which was the women's exclusive Air Max 1 Sandrifts. Now, we did also review those on the channel. I did have them for a little while, but in the end, I did decide to send them back. Unfortunately, before I actually got my hands on these, so I'm not able to do a comparison. But trust me when I say, these are very, very similar. I mean, I honestly feel like Nike are almost taking the with this, because I mean, even in the size label, it referenced Sandrift, and this colorway is a dead ringer for the other one as well. Now the materials are different and the details are different, and I won't be doing like a one-to-one comparison, so if you do want to check out the Sandrift review, I will leave a link to it above, as well as again in my description box for maybe checking it out after this one. But if you are interested in this shoe in particular, just like I do in every single one of my reviews, I'm going to go through everything that you need to know, starting out with materials and going all the way through to sizing. So hopefully by the end of this video, we can help you guys decide if this is something you want to add to your own personal collection as well. So just diving straight into this one, starting out with the upper to begin with. And for this one, we do actually see a very interesting combination of some very neutral tones, including pale ivory, sandrift, white. The overall colour combination could for some people be considered a little bit bland, but I do feel like the colour choices are actually quite effective with one another, and as we go throughout this review, I will pick out the individual details in particular that I do actually like about this one. So at the base of the shoe, we do have your typical all-white mesh material making up the toe box itself, which is then accented quite nicely with this very interesting, softer to touch felt around the toe box making up this mudguard. Now, we have been seeing this felt material on quite a few recent Air Max 1 releases, including the Chilies, the Deep Royal Blues, the Fuchsias, the Vaults, now these. And I will be honest, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this very nice felt material is one of my favourite details about this shoe. Has a very nice soft overall texture to it. It's a little bit furrier on this one in particular than what we've been seeing in the more previous Air Max 1 releases. But just as far as it looks out of the box, in my humble opinion, it's a very nice material choice. Nothing premium, nothing too out there. But just as far as it looks and feels, you're definitely not going to hear any complaints from me. But as we then continue to work our way further back the upper, again we do actually see more of those very nice natural hues. So to start us off with the U-throat to begin with, again we do have that exact same felt-like material making up the U-throat itself, and that is the exact same as what we see in the quarter midfoot panel. It's the exact same colour, the exact same material, and in my personal opinion, again it's a very, very nice detail. And then featured in the middle of the midfoot itself, just like what we saw with the mudguard, we do have that exact same sand drift colour making up this Nike swoosh, and that is the same on both the lateral and medial sides. And from there, as we do work our way onto the ankle collar, again we do have that more of those very nice hues of that pale ivory colour, and the eye stays themselves have been constructed from a TPU material. And as we reach the ankle collar, this is a very similar occurrence. We've seen this on a lot of other women's exclusive releases. The actual mesh material they're using around the collar does actually have a slight sheen to it. I said it in the Fuchsia review, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of it on this shoe either. Definitely gives the shoe a much more feminine feel, which, being that it's women's exclusive release, is of course to be expected. But because this goes up to a size 9.5 and I'm a size 9, I just feel like overall it's a design choice that I could definitely live without. But outside of that, it's really not a lot to write home about. And as we then work our way onto the heel of the shoe, again, it's exactly the same as we've seen throughout the rest of the shoe. And then completing the look to the heel itself, we again see that very nice Nike Air branding actually embroidered into the center of the heel. A very, very nice look in my humble opinion. Now, when it does come to the lace options for this one, I've said it again in the Fuchsia review. I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point. The laces that come with this shoe are absolutely tragic, and they definitely need to be removed from this shoe immediately. It's the exact same laces that actually come with a lot of other releases. I believe it actually comes in the OG pairs as well, which definitely did catch me off guard when somebody mentioned that to me. It did also come in my Nike by You, which again, I just think the overall lace quality is absolutely rubbish. I replaced the laces in my Fuchsias and I never looked back, and I would definitely be looking to actually replace the laces in these if they are going to stick around the collection. I just think overall, they're not of a very good feel, they're not of a very good look, and a flat white regular cotton shoelace is absolutely fine, so that would definitely be my personal preference. And then just beneath the laces themselves, again we do have more of that white mesh detailing making up the base of the tongue itself. At the top of the tongue, we then have your pretty standard tongue tag, and then featured in the middle of the tongue tag itself, we do have that Nike Air Max branding once again. And as we then work our way onto the inside of the shoe, like we see with a lot of women's exclusive releases, we have this really nice, soft to the touch cotton sock liner. And there's something about these women's releases, I don't know what it is, they're so much more comfortable than a men's release. I don't know what they do differently, I don't know how it feels so different, but what I will say is every single time I put on one of my women's Air Max 1 releases, whether it be the cobblestones, the taupe yellows, the fuchsias, they all just seem to feel so much more comfortable just in terms of how they feel on feet and around the ankle in particular. And this is exactly no exception. I feel like the overall padding on the inside is just super nice as soon as you put these on feet. And as we then continue to work our way even further onto the inside of the shoe, we do have your standard insole in here, and then we do also see that Nike Air branding featured once again. Now, as we do look to close out this video and just actually finish up on the details, as we do work our way down to the midsole, we do have a polyurethane material making up the midsole itself, and then as is ever present, we do also have a visible air unit towards the heel. And then as we do work our way onto the outsole of the shoe, we do have your classic Air Max 1 style of outsole with that waffle design. Now, it has been done with that mostly black and white colour combination, but just beneath the toe, we do actually have that very nice tan colour, which in my personal opinion is a very, very nice touch for this one. Now, when it does come to the overall sizing for these, I am just going to recommend that you just go with your natural true to size fit with whatever you typically wear with Air Max 1s. Now, being that this is a women's release, I've said this before, I'll just say it again for anyone who's new around here. I do feel like the women's releases are slightly longer than the men's pairs, so you may actually feel like there's a little bit of extra wiggle room in the toe box, which a lot of you guys may not be fond of. It's not something that I personally love about it, but I do feel like if I did go a half size down, because I'm a wide footer, that causes more issues than it solves. So I am just going to recommend true to size, especially if you are a wide footer. And if you do want a bit more of a snug fit, half size down, you should be absolutely fine with that as well. And then outside of that, we've covered everything that you need to know. So if we now just go ahead and just wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video, so you guys can get out of here, in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to say they are a very solid 7 out of 10 for me. I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure what rating I gave the sand drifts. I would say that these are slightly a nod above them, so if I give the sand drifts a higher rating, just disregard that. I mean, I have no way to actually scale the rating system. It's just how I feel on the day I'm doing the review. There's real no rhyme or reason to it. this a shoe I'm going to keep in the personal collection? Probably not. It's just not doing it enough for me to add into an already inflated Air Max 1 collection. Again, I am trying to be a little bit more selective. It's not going so well of late, but I do feel like personally I can live without this one, so I probably will end up sending this one back. That's all I have to say about it. I would love to get your guys' take on it as well. So do let me know what you think of my rating. Let me know what you think of this shoe and any other thoughts. Do make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And like I say in each and every one of my reviews, if you have stuck around to the end, I do just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace. I don't know what happened there. Jesus Christ.